Canyonero, Canyonero, yeah!
Welcome everybody to another episode of this Frasier quality spin-off show that is Top 5 with Nick. Ongoing with the theme of our first season here, of video games, we're going to be going over video game vehicles, which have been for a long time an integral part of the vast majority of video games, from racing games, action-adventure, flight sims, shooters even these days, for example. This week I am joined with Ashley Hobley.
Hello, hello.
And Kieran Marchant.
Why, hello there.
So, Ashley, you're new to the show. The way it works is I'm going to be asking everybody, including myself, our top 5. We're going to go one in order. It's up to you whether you do it in order or you even have an order. I personally don't like doing in order, so it's just top 5 in any particular order. So I'm going to go with you first. What is your first video game vehicle?
I sort of had it in a loose order. So, number 5, the Warthog from Halo. I'm not an Xbox guy, but my friends in high school we'd have LAN parties or whatever, and we'd all go play Halo. And I'm terrible at first-person shooters, if anybody's seen any footage. I don't know.
I want to. I haven't, but I want to.
No.
Hey,
well,
you were all right playing Payday with me and Dylan.
Yeah, I guess, kind of. I would constantly die over and over again and get revived. Yeah, but I would always drive around in the Warthog, running over people, getting my briefcase, whatever it was. I can't remember. The payload, something. Yeah, so the Warthog. It's good.
Yep. Solid choice there, Ashley.
Yeah.
How about you, Kieran?
It's a solid choice. It got cut off my list.
Oh, really?
It got cut, the Warthog. It was close, but it got cut and beat out. My first one is my favourite spaceship in any video game ever, is the SS Normandie from Mass Effect. My God, that ship is awesome. You had Seth Green was the pilot. Seth Green was Joker. You could walk around the entire ship. You could hang out with your friends. You could make love to Garrus. You could, there was so much into that ship, and that ship was a character of its own in that game. It was so cool. I can remember the first time in Mass Effect 2, spoiler warning, after you wake up at the start, and then, it takes up, and this will be your ship, and it's like, the new and improved SS Normandie, and it's like, oh my God, this is awesome! Yeah! And you walk around, and there's no more annoying elevator inside of it, no more annoying loading screens anywhere. Normandie was awesome.
I didn't even consider that for my list, because in my mind, when I was thinking vehicles, I was thinking vehicles you control in the game.
Control, yeah.
Yeah. Which
technically you do.
Yeah, you do in a way. Like, you command the crew to do it, what you want to do.
You upgrade it. You do everything for it.
Yeah.
I remember being told Mass Effect 2. It's like one of my friends who beat the game really quickly just said to me cryptically, "Upgrade the ship." I'm like, okay, sure. He's like, whatever you do, upgrade your ship. Because if you don't upgrade the ship, literally going into that mission, your ship gets shot out the sky and it's done. It's like, oh, okay. But that's how important that spaceship is. And it's just such an iconic look for that series. They had, I can't even remember what the ship was called in Andromeda, but it was nothing compared to the Normandie for me.
We don't talk about Andromeda. Maybe they don't be on the worst games list. But yeah. No, that's a solid choice. Out of left field, but I agree with it.
Oh, I've got plenty more of those.
Okay.
Mine, first one, is the Warthog also. Yes. I'm with you, Ashley. I'm not an Xbox guy in the slightest. Never owned one, but just...
I love it how the two non-Xbox guys have got an Xbox vehicle in there, and I took it off my list. Yeah. I'm an Xbox fanboy.
Just, hooning around that first open level in in Halo, the single player campaign, and even round in the multiplayer maps, just the way it felt to drive that vehicle with the two sticks, just the way that the left stick was, I don't even know how to describe it, but
Left stick, it was tank control, so left stick was go and the right stick was to turn and
yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
And just the way that you could just power drift it around, and just
Yeah.
the way it felt to drive, and having your buddy in the back shooting the guns, there was just,
And there's nothing cooler than the fact that you can just flip it back over.
yeah.
Every other game, you fucking flip your car, you're like, fuck, I gotta go find a new car, or I've got to go do something. No, Warthog's just like, oh, I'm just gonna bounce this back over and I'm good.
Yeah, this weighs as much as paper mache. Just flip straight over.
But then they blow up really easy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. Good drivers don't blow those up, Ash.
Okay, yeah. Well, falls in line with my standard of play.
This is true. This is true.
You've continued to show us how terrible you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of how terrible you are, Ashley, what's the second one on your list?
Might be a controversial choice, but the Batmobile from Arkham Knight. I
I agree with your decision.
I agree with the mobile part. I
Yeah.
don't agree with the tank part of that vehicle.
I think I don't mind the tank part. I think it was just how it
hate
was
the tank
implemented
part.
in the game, obviously.
So
But
bad.
it's cool. It's a Batmobile that you can drive around in. I mean, sure, it doesn't make sense that you run people over in it and they
alright.
get electrocuted, immobilized. But yeah, it's a really cool design for that vehicle. Obviously, it's been designed multiple times through the comics and that sort of thing, but they did something
I
a
thought
bit
the
different.
coolest thing was when you got it in the third one, right? Whatever that one's called again, Arkham. Oh, the Arkham Knight. Yeah, Arkham
Yeah.
Knight.
Yeah, that's one.
When you had it, because I remember in Arkham Asylum, I cried, or I felt my heart break when you like blow it up to kill Bane.
Yeah, you drive him
Like,
into the river.
You
with
drive
it.
Bane
Yeah.
into it, and you're like, ah. But the coolest thing was even just the dumbest thought of the Batmobile has back seats. Like it has that like compartment in the back where people can sit in. I'm like, that's just something I've never thought about, is how anybody else sits in. Normally I'm like, oh, it's got a cockpit, it's two
Yeah.
people.
Then
No,
it's
the
got a
tank stuff
prison
in that
and
game.
little jail cell in the back.
Yeah, no, but the tank mode in that game ruined my
You kn-
opinion of that car.
You know what? That tank mode would be fantastic if it was just in about literally any other game than Batman.
Or if it was just used less.
Yeah, if they
was
were a
just
bit
used
shorter,
less.
just a little bit shorter, it would have been fine. But yeah,
It just takes you so out of that world that, oh, this baddie's got a bunch of unmanned drones that you get in your fucking Batmobile as a tank and go around and blow up waves and waves and waves of them.
oh yeah, and those Predator ones where you have to get behind them and shoot.
Yeah, it was just...
Yeah, that was frustrating, but
It just
Still
seemed
cool.
like so...
such a cool car though.
It is.
Can you imagine having it?
I can. And getting fined lots of money
Yeah.
for property damage.
Yeah, because it wouldn't fit on one lane.
No, not at all. That's why you go up and over other
Very
vehicles.
impractical in a city. Really.
Very much so. Kieran.
Let's continue to go left field. Imagine, people, the vehicle. Green, red, and white. A perfectly comfortable saddle. Spits out eggs everywhere. Gets mad air. I'm talking about Yoshi.
Yeah.
Or Yoshi for you people. You know, best vehicle Nintendo has ever made. Mark my words. You can ride around on him, you jump on people's heads. Look, he understands if you need to, like, use his dead body as the last final jump to make it across a large gap. He understands. He is his own character, but he's a vehicle as well.
He is. Very... Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
consider that one either.
No. I thought about this one and I was like, I like these weird choices that they are vehicles in their own right, but they're just not, four wheels and drive around places. It's, I remember like the coolest thing was to, like, even just looking at the evolution of Yoshi. I don't know how you probably say that. How do you two say it? How
Yoshi.
Do you say it?
It's like Star Wars. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
Okay, Yoshi. You used to... Remembering the first time you broke open a question mark box and that green egg appears out of it. And it's like, he was just so cute. And then he gets even cuter when he has baby Mario with him. It's just, Yep, he is another great vehicle.
I agree with that. All right, I was gonna save this one to last, but I'm gonna throw it in there now. Death from Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. The horse.
Okay.
In Undead Nightmare, you have the 4 horses of the apocalypse as steeds. And Death, there was just something so cool about him just riding down the path in the west, and zombies' heads just popping left, right, and centre.
That'd be badass, actually. Like, imagine pulling up in town, just like skidding around the corner. You like wait. There's like the slow motion pan shot of like the moon in the background. Is all around you. There's zombies' heads exploding.
Because they were all, each one had its own thing. Like War was fire, and I don't really remember the other two, but like War left fire behind you. But Death, it was just because the zombies in that were no joke, because you had to land a headshot every time to kill them, and just being able to ride through like without any fear and just zombies' heads just popping. It was just something so cool about all that.
Yeah.
Did either of you play Undead Nightmare?
Not enough. Yeah.
I played a little bit of it. I wish I played more. I could go back actually with Xbox backwards compatibility. There was a thumbs up there, people.
Yeah, it was the cheesiest thumbs up.
Yeah, it's fine.
Xbox fanboy. All right, back around to you again, Ashley.
Probably a pretty easy one. The Mario Kart. I don't know what the correct term it is for it, but the kart in Mario Kart.
Depends which one, though, because there's so many different variants now.
Not really. I'm thinking of Nintendo 64.
Classic
Mario Kart 64 Classic. Little go-kart. Obviously, Mario Kart is probably synonymous for everybody. I think that's probably the most universal video game out there.
Yep.
Possibly.
I personally would include that on a greatest of all time list, but not my personal top 5 list.
It's probably the vehicle I've driven the most in all games.
And that you've actually been able to probably win or come close
to
winning. Yeah.
Something I can actually... No, actually, go back to an Extra Life stream. I was not very good in.
Well, that's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's a lot of variation in that, and customization. And even, like, if you look at it, what a technical and engineerical marvel that go-kart is. The fact that it can, like, still race with the likes of Donkey Kong and Bowser
on them, yeah,
riding them. Like,
at the same speed. No loss of speed.
No loss of speed. How amazing is that?
And then they suddenly have storage room for all these shells and these banana peels and...
Yeah, and they can jump. They can do little hops while they're... Oh, that's amazing.
And they do somersaults and have parachutes and...
It's just incredible. It's like, wow, what is this?
Anti-grav wheels.
And now the new ones are anti-gravity. It's...
I know, right? I go to a freaking go-kart track. They take one look at me and go, nah, mate, you're not going to fit. And I'm like... Where are their Mario Karts?
Yeah.
I think there's a market there for us. I think we can do this.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be. Isn't there somewhere like Japan or somebody's doing Mario Kart races?
Yeah, they in the streets of Japan, you can go race in Mario go-karts.
There's actually...
Apparently it's coming to Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah, I was going to say for a limited time.
That's awesome.
Possibly, by the time it goes to live.
Mm.
It's going to break my heart when I go to play Mario Kart in real life and they turn me away. I'll just pretend I'm cosplaying as like Bowser.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's like an empty shell.
I'm pretty sure they give you onesies and stuff to wear too.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
I'd like a Princess Peach dress.
I'm sure they wash it.
Can you imagine in the middle of the summer giving everyone onesies?
Yeah,
that's...
Well,
you probably have to wear like a tracksuit anytime you go go-karting.
No, I've been go-karting in shorts and a singlet before. All you had to do was put on a helmet and a neck brace.
Yeah, was this like $5 behind a dumpster or something? Or like a proper...
No, it was proper. I'll see if I can find the photo. It'll be in the show description.
Great.
Who are we up to? Kieran.
We're up to me. Kieran. This is off the beaten path a little bit. One of my favourite... And this was really hard for me to pick one car from this game. Because one of my favourite games growing up was Simpsons Hit and Run on the PS2.
Oh, yes.
Because there were so many amazing cars or just cool car designs that are just from that show. And it was hard for me to pick one. And I could have gone with stuff like, Homer's future car or even just the vintage Simpsons car or the Plow King. But no, I went with the one and only Canyonero because it
The
was
F-Series?
because it was Marge's default car in like the second or third level. And all I could remember as a kid was driving around humming the Canyonero theme tune as I was driving around. Like, it's just one of those things where that game was so good. Oh, please remaster that shit or give us another one. Like, it was just... Remember the story and just all the collectibles in that game? That was like Ubisoft. Was it Ubisoft that made it? It was somebody like that who made it. But just the range of cars in that game and the different varieties of ways you unlocked those cars.
Yeah.
Or like you had to unlock the certain cars for certain sections in the mission was so goddamn cool. Like it was... it's got a special place in my heart, that game. I fucking love Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah. Made by Radical Entertainment, published by Vivendi. Universal Games.
Oh, okay.
So there's no
Ubisoft
chance of that getting remastered. I don't know who owns it now.
Somebody buy
Somebody
that
would own
license.
it.
Somebody do it.
My next one comes from a late 90s PC and PlayStation game, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the vehicle from that game is the Lamborghini Diablo, specifically the Pursuit Special, because in that game was the first one you could play as the cops and just racing around, trying to stop the races and capturing them. It was just something so different in a racing game as well, where instead of you were racing against the opponents, but you had to stop them, like you had to capture them by making them stop. You deployed spike strips and stuff, and just the fact that driving the Lamborghini Diablo, which was my favourite car growing up and my dad's favourite car, and we shared so many memories and good times playing that game together, is just always hold near and dear to my heart.
My love came from Need for Speed Most Wanted, which was the evolution from that game. And the cover art and like the main car of that, the BMW M5, that was like silver and blue, and it looked so good. And just like even the strategy that changed that game so much of, okay, when do you race and when do you stop and hide and let the cops go past and race? Like that was such a cool idea that got implemented in that game I really think it's thanks to Hot Pursuit that games, evolved into such a way, and we now get, Need for Speed Fast and Furious. It's just
very much so.
The way it is.
Yeah. Fun fact about Most Wanted, I remember getting that in a Pizza Hut video game deal.
Really?
Back when they used to have them, there was like buy, 2 pizzas or whatever and get a PC game. Like from Pizza Hut, I got Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, couple of Sims games, that Most Wanted game. I wish they did deals like that these days.
I think they did one like in the last couple of years for like a PS4 code. But I can't remember what it was for.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it was easier back in the day to give away PC stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was
probably
so
easier
much
to do it now.
Yeah,
yes
Steam
and
code.
no, but the thing is, like, anything people want, people probably already have nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. All right, back around to you, Ashley.
What did I have next? Yes. Sorry, my list has just dropped away.
That's okay.
Mad Max, the video game, the magnum opus, the car from that. Oh, just the vehicle combat in that game is so great. And then to be upgrading your vehicle, adding spikes, flamethrowers, all sorts of crazy attachments to it. Mad Max, it's underrated. I really should have finished it, but...
Did you... What was the character's name that was like the co-pilot for that car?
God.
It was the coolest mechanic, and it was such a Mad Max thing that you could like mid-driving or mid-battle in your car, you could like force him to get out and like fix the engine while you're still driving.
The car would stop and he'd go out and fix it for you.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it was so cool. Or, he would drive the car over to you if you were away from the car too far or something.
Yeah.
It was so, even just having that little character attached to a vehicle is really cool for me.
Oh yeah, I'd really enjoyed Mad Max, especially driving around that car, but unfortunately for me, it got a little too repetitive. It was
Yeah, it
good
did.
from the time I played with it, but I think I had my fill with it before I got to finish it.
Yeah, I think I overloaded on all the side quests and like, all
the same.
that sort of stuff, and then you get to the main city, and we're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
How much more of this could I do?
yeah.
All
But
right.
if they did a sequel, I'll be on that. They're probably not going to though.
No, I think it underperformed sales wise.
Interesting that I just read that the director is the guy who's doing God of War.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Corey
That's really
Barlog.
cool. Because the game was pretty good, but didn't it just get released at like a terrible time?
Yeah, it come out.
It got released the same time as Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's
Yes,
the one.
that was it. That was it. That's why nobody played it. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, let's not get started with that game. Kieran, your next one.
Hello. Okay, so many people, especially people growing up around my age, had their first like over the top game like introduction to GTA 3 on the PlayStation 2. And people would probably have memories of, driving cars around, shooting people, killing people, doing missions for mobsters. My memory in that game is tied around to one vehicle and one vehicle alone. It's tied to the Dodo plane. Because the amount of time that my friends and I sat, and the challenge was to fly around the Dodo, around all the islands without dropping once, like without touching the ground. And I don't think we ever did it.
No,
Because
I think it was impossible to fly it, wasn't it?
it was like, because it couldn't.
It had no
like,
wings.
it had like little wings, but it like dipped and hopped and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was no, you had to glide it, and it was so hard. And I can remember like we got like, there was like the Holy Grail attempt where we got like around like 1.5 island,
Yeah.
and we never did it again. But it's such a funny thing that I think that is the only aircraft in that game. I think
It is.
is
Yeah.
the Dodo.
In GTA
Yeah, it's
3,
the Dodo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only aircraft in that game, and it was terrible, and it wasn't even aircraft,
No.
but I got so much random fun out of that, that, it was in between that and, turning the tank with cheats into a flying tank, but...
Or even
no,
just driving the
Dodo-
tank with the cannon pointing behind you, and every time firing
Yeah.
it gave you that speed boost.
Yeah, it gets speed boost, and it starts lifting off slowly,
Yeah.
but, no, the Dodo, it's where it's at.
Yeah, I'll pay that. My next one comes from GTA as well, specifically GTA 4, and it is the Jukes. It's probably wouldn't show up on literally 99% of people's radar. It's the one that kind of looks like the Dodge Charger, the Duke's a Hazard car.
Okay.
Yeah. There's just something about the way that game handled driving and the way that particular car felt, the amount of power it had, the torque to the wheels and the way it would oversteer. It's just, if you could drive that well, it'd become the perfect car to drive around the city, just doing fishtails and power slides around corners and stuff like that. And I have spent countless amount of hours just driving around GTA 4 trying to perfect the handling of that particular car.
I remember GTS 4's handling being so bad.
It's very contentious the way. I love the way it handled, because it handled very realistically, where it went to GTA 5 and it was very snap and everything was so very responsive and there wasn't much leeway. It's just the way that GTA 4 handled driving and the physics in the game. Just, I don't know. It's what puts it at the top of the pack for me personally.
Interesting.
Hey, cousin, come bowling!
And the way that you could crash the car in a certain way and get the passengers to fly out was the perfect way to deal with Roman.
Poor Roman, he just wanted to take you bowling and to see
Oh no,
ladies.
the big American titties.
Oh
Alright.
no.
Ashley,
Ashley,
what's
say
your
it.
last one?
My last one, the R-Wing from Lilac Wars, or for
Yep.
American, Star Fox 64.
Yep.
That was like one of the few games I had on the Nintendo 64, and it would just be constantly going through all the missions, world after world.
Do a barrel roll!
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll!
Yeah.
I have
And,
a lot of... Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could play that game like 50, 60 times, probably.
I have
Half
a lot
of those not realizing that you have to go through the left route to get the proper ending.
I have a lot of fond memories with that game, considering I never owned the game.
Yeah.
Just playing at friends' places.
And then the multiplayer. Oh, got competitive.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah.
And it looks horrible when you look back at it today.
Yeah, it doesn't look good now. The Fog of War is awful. And...
Yeah, that horrible...
But they haven't been able to do a good one since, so
No.
what does tell you?
You can't make a good Lilac War game in this current technology.
Or with current sensibilities, yeah.
Yeah. Kieran, what's your last one?
My last one is a technical marvel. They're the best exploration vehicle ever created. I'm talking about the Mako from Mass Effect 1. No, I'm not. Fuck that vehicle. That vehicle's so bad. No, that was an honest.
It's the
try,
probes
sorry.
from Mass Effect 2 that you send down to the planet.
Oh my god. Ugh. No, mine is my favorite. One of my favorite moments from Battlefront 2's campaign, even though it had its bad moments, was flying the Millennium Falcon over Maz's castle, because that was so goddamn cool for me. Because it's the Millennium fucking Falcon, people. If you love it, if you appreciate pop culture in any way, you have like a soft spot for that ship.
Yeah.
And it handled so well, and it just, even like the moments where you're like doing dives, but you're like the Falcon is like spinning on its own axis at the same time, and like rushing across the water. It was just such a awesome and exhilarating moment for me, where I was like, I'm fucking Han Solo, people. I am Han Solo. Watch me go. And
He probably wouldn't say
I
that.
love it. He probably would. I remember loading up that mission, and I did say, Chewie, we're home. And I was even though he hadn't lost it yet.
I could have very easily made mine 5 Star Wars vehicles, but when I was thinking about it, none of those vehicles I think I associate with games. Like, they're vehicles in games that I love, but I don't think I love them in the games myself.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair point.
there's something about them, the way they handle in games, that I just don't really enjoy. But yeah. My last one being a historic, let's say historic, flight sim nerd, is the A10 Warthog. This specifically from DCS World A10. Just that plane is just ridiculous. The way it is old, it is practically a flying tank. It is designed to be just a flying platform for this gigantic cannon, which is the Gao 9 Avenger 30mm like rotating cannon. And the cannon itself, if you've ever seen it outside of the plane, is bigger than a VW Beetle. And the way that it handles in the air, and the feedback, and the way that you can just come down so slowly over a column of tanks, and just unleashing that cannon along the whole column and pulling off and turning around and coming back again, just is something else that I've never felt in video games, and developed my love for that aviation. Is just, I don't know, it's unequaled in my eyes in video game vehicles. I know it's very niche, incredibly
Super
niche.
niche.
Super niche.
But yeah, it's... I don't know. I just love it.
It's a good plane, I'll admit.
I assume
We'll
it's a good
allow
plan. I have no idea what you're talking about.
A10 Warthog. Love it.
Google it.
Google it, people. Google it, Ashley, right now.
Okay. A10.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode
Warthog.
of Top 5 with Nick. This has been a product of the Explosion Network. You can find this show and all others over at explosionnetwork.com. You can rate and review it on iTunes if you use Apple accounts. If you don't, I won't be upset. You can follow the show at Explosion Pod and the rest of the network. You can follow Ashley at...
Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. It's a thing.
You can follow Kieran.
at your boy Ringo on Twitter, and catch me on twitch.tv/Explosion Network. You'll also find Nick him there himself.
Yes, and you can follow me at Lord Empire. You can email into the show with top 5 topics and themes and stuff for us to do at don't@explosionnetwork.com. And thank you guys, and good night.